So welcome everyone to 2024, our very first training back, which is really exciting. Tonight we are going to be focusing on our goal setting, which is something that we do at the beginning of every single year. It's something that I was taught many years ago by my mentor, and it really has helped me. I do it with my family. I generally sit down, Ryan and I will sit down usually before, well, always before the new year, between that Christmas and New Year period, and just sit down and talk about and share with each other what we want to achieve for that coming year. And in truth, 2023 was a really good year for me. I was kicking heaps of my goals, both in my health, in my business, at my home, like all of the things. And then, as many of you know, unfortunately, tragedy struck our family mid-November. But up until that point, things have been going really well. So I think it's really important to set your goals. Will they adjust and change over the year? Absolutely. That's why it's really important to revisit them regularly to see whether A, you're on track, B, they're still relevant, because they may not be. They may shift and change as the year goes on, and that's 100% okay. And even if you don't reach that goal by the end of that year, does that mean you failed? Well, those of you who know me well know that I don't believe in failure. I 100% don't think that that's a thing. I think that if you've set a goal and you haven't achieved that, but you've reached for it and you've fallen short, then that's a huge success just in itself. Let me give you an example. I was reading back through some of my goals for 2023, and one of them was to gift a couple of my friends a couple of really beautiful surprises. And two of my friends I wanted to gift a holiday to. Now, one of them didn't happen and the other one did. So did I fail at my goal? Absolutely not. I am so excited that I'm able to take my best friend with me to Punta Cana, particularly after the end of the year that both of us have now had. I feel so blessed that we both have something that we can really look forward to and that we're both really going to need by the time March comes. So just a few Solex updates from our leadership call the other day. We just want to cover off that before we get into some of the goal setting today. So Day of Discovery in Utah, that's coming up in September, the 13th and 14th of September. Our goal is to have at least 10 to 15 of our team there. There was 2 of us, I think, at the last one, but we would love 10 or 15 of you to come along. So if you want to set a goal of traveling this year, make Punta Cana, see, I told you my brain's gone. Make Utah one of those. It's going to be down in St. George in Utah. And we are also doing our Bali retreat for Frequency Soul Collective, and that will be in the middle of May. We're just finalizing the accommodation now, and we'll have all of that out to you ASAP. The only requirement you will need for the Bali retreat is to put a deposit down, and then that is just going to be the most phenomenal time. It is specifically for anyone building a Solex business. So if you're kind of like using the scanner, loving it, but not interested in actually building, then it's probably not a retreat for you. We also have the Mexican Riviera trip incentive coming up that we can gun for now as well. So just when you're setting your goals, please keep that in mind because it's very, very achievable. And what else? Just the promo that's on at the moment from the 1st of January. So they'll backdate it all the way through to the 19th of January. Anytime that you enroll 2 or more people during that time on a qualifying order is always a bundle device, as well as the subscription. You will actually double your commissions. So your commissions are already set at 65%. So you will literally double that to 130%, which is just absolutely insane. So if you're looking at following people up and really getting into your business early this year, now is the time to do it. So the theme, if you saw this week's call for Solex, the theme this year is about leveling up. Now, leveling up for you, you might be on this call tonight and may not particularly be interested in building a big Solex business. That's 100% okay. But if you are, then start to think about how you can level up in your business. The other thing we're looking at too is other areas of your life that you could be leveling up. One of the books that I was listening to previous to, let's talk about my previous life before November, I started to listen to audiobooks, which I've always wanted to do, but I actually blatantly refuse to pay some ridiculous amount of money to listen to books. So now that Spotify, I don't know if you know, but Spotify actually have Audible books on Spotify for free. So one of the books that I've been listening to is Atomic Habits. So I'm almost finished it. I think I've got a little bit to go, and then I'm going to start it again. And one of the things in there that I really love is just, and I've always taught this, is making little shifts. You know, 1%ers, that's all you need to do. So if your plan is to level up in whatever that looks like for you this year, then start to look at the small changes that you can make in your day-to-day life. So we're going to break this down tonight into categories. So I hope that if you don't have a pen and paper, please grab a pen and paper, or preferably even your notebook that is specifically for your goals for 2024. Now, for me, I actually have a notebook that, because it doesn't take up the whole book. What's it say on the front here? Get inspired. I love this. And everybody knows I love stationery. So any excuse to buy a new book is, I'm 100% all over that. And I get very, very excited at the beginning of the year because it means I also get a new diary. So that's always fun. And if you came to Day of Discovery, you actually, I just thought you would have received stickers. So we could even put our Solex stickers on the front of our diary. So there you go. Yeah, stationery. Stationery is the best. It's my other addiction. I love it. Stationery is awesome. I'm going to try and get back addicted to the gym this year. That's my goal. So grab yourself a notebook, or if you don't have the notebook now, please just grab a pen and paper, because this is an action call. It's really about taking the action now, setting the intention really clearly for yourself and writing it down. And I know that they say, you know, any goal that's not written down is just a dream, but it's true. Unless you're really intentional about what you're wanting to create, then the chances of you achieving it are actually very minimal. My goal, one of my goals last year, was to listen to an Abraham Hicks little video at least once a day, every day of 2023. Now, the beautiful Ali Robertson, who's on this call today, she's my Abraham Hicks buddy. We have been doing this work for years, and Ali and I have been working together, I would say probably 2 or 3 years now, on the work of Abraham. If you haven't heard of Abraham Hicks, please, after this call, go to YouTube, type in Abraham Hicks, and open yourself to a world of understanding how the universe works. I love that their videos are only 10 to 15 minutes. But every little one that comes up for you, there's always a message in it that's so relevant. So drop it in the chat if you listen to the work of Abraham or have read their books. So Esther and Jerry Hicks, I would love to know if you guys actually do the work, or if you've never actually, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'd love to hear that as well. Drop that in the chat also. Yes, you listen to them on today as well. That's awesome, and yeah, you've heard of them. Great. Now, obviously for me, it got to the end of the year and I didn't have a chance to listen to anything, but it's really important at some point, you know, life is going to throw you curveballs, yeah? And as much as life throws you curveballs, you really get to make the decision how quickly you come back from that. And there's no judgment, I think, if something happens that how quickly you come back. For me, I've always been one of those people that if life kind of knocks me down a little bit, I jump straight back up and I keep running. This was very different for me. I knew I had to take the time to stop and breathe and just be really present with my family. So every single thing went out the window. All of my, as I said, diet, exercise, which probably shouldn't have, but it did, and all my Abraham work, the whole lot. So at some point, though, I had to say, okay, at some point, you really, to a degree, need to get yourself back on track. So now I'm trying to listen to 2 Abrahams a day to make up for the ones that I missed at the end of last year. And I'm going to continue that tradition this year, whether it be the work of Abraham or listening to Audible books, just doing that personal development growth work. So let's start on page 1, whatever that looks like for you, and just take a moment to really think about what your intention is for 2024. Now, for some of you, you might say, this is my year. I want to achieve massive things in 2024. For others of you, you might say, hey, I just want to take a bit of a break, but I still want to do A, B, and C, and that's okay too. I want the best of both worlds. So I'm still going to be building my business really strongly, but I'm pulling back on so many things, and my solid focus for 2024 is going to be, and has to be, my family, my new family dynamic, and my sister's estate and all of the things, and my Solex business. So all of the other things that I had going on outside of that, I have had to literally stop. And that's okay. Will they be there later in the year? Maybe, maybe not. Are they meant to be? Maybe, maybe not. Does it matter? Not really. So as long as I'm doing the main things that are a priority to me, that's what matters. So really feel into your intention for this year. You might be like, hey, I'm really going to focus on my finances, or hey, I'm really going to focus on my health. Whatever it looks like to you, just really set that intention now. And I think coming up with one word for 2024 that can almost be your theme is awesome as well. So my word for 2024 is allowing, because I am not very good at allowing. And so I want to become better at it. Oh, that's amazing, Joe. I love that. To be brave. Yes. Breakthrough. Awesome. And yes, I love that. And that could be in so many different ways, or it could be just in one way that you're wanting to make a breakthrough of something. Jot down in the chat what your word for 2024 is. Flow. Beautiful. I love that too. You know, for me, allowing is really important because I've always been such a, personality-wise, such a go-getter, that consistency, yes, consistency is so important, particularly in business. You can't jump in and jump out of business. It just doesn't work that way. Mastery, motivation, yeah, to be motivated again, and not just to be motivated, but to feel motivated. I love that. So me for allowing is about allowing the things that I want to come to me without having to push for them, to work and strive and constantly be in that heightened state, I think is really, really important. Action, yes. Yeah. You were spending the last year laying the foundations, decluttering, and now it's time for action. And honestly, when it comes to business or anything, whether it's business or personal, it's only action that actually matters, right? Because we can sit on this call and do this for, you know, the hour or 3/4 of an hour that we're on here. But if you hop off this call and don't take anything away and actually action it, then, you know, it's pointless. Alignment, I love that as well. Yes. And then really delving into, when you're when you are aligned, what are you wanting to be aligned with? Is it aligned to source? Is it aligned with your values? Is it aligned with your business goals? You know, alignment, I love that. There are so many different ways to be aligned. And when you do, particularly the work of Abraham that I do a lot, I'm always pulling myself back into alignment because, as I said before, you know, contrast is there. It's not going away. Contrast will come to you at different times of your life. It's not the contrast that matters. It's what you do with it and how you behave and how you respond. So that's what I really want you to take away. When contrast comes, look at how you handle that. How you handle it is what truly matters. So our first topic, so we're going to have titles for each of these sections. We're going to break it down, and we're actually going to write at least 2 or 3 action taking, or the goal, and then what action you're going to take for each of these. So we're going to start with personal, because personal is really important. We need to fill our own cups first. I'm like, my guidance says to me, practice what you preach. I'm trying. So personal, and breaking that down, first and foremost, I think the most important is your physical health. So what do you need to do? So that's the topic is personal. The subtitle is physical health. What is the goal for you this year to shift or change your physical health? It could be about learning more about the parasympathetic nervous system. We learned a lot about that more yesterday, Paige and I, which was really cool. And, you know, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic, this is sort of stuff for me that I knew and I know, but it was something really for me probably before, like in my previous life, where I was really starting to focus on my adrenals. You don't realize how important your, you know, looking after your adrenals really is. So it could be that. It could be getting more sleep, going to bed earlier. It could be exercise. It could be, I don't like to use the word diet, but your food habits. You know, it could be that you want to start fasting. Whatever that is, write at least 2 goals that you're wanting to achieve. And then I want you to write, so let's say, for example, I would like to release 7 kilos. I was doing so well. I'd released 4 of my 7 and I was like so close to my goal. And now I've put it all back on. I put my conference shirt on for our call tonight, and I'm like, my shirt's tight. And can I tell you, it was not tight before. So we could blame 2 things here. We could blame the dryer, which clearly that's what it would have been. Like, it's definitely shrunk. Or it could be that maybe if I jumped on the scales, which I have, I may be back to the original weight when I started my goal before. So if I want to release 7 kilos, what do I need to do? What steps do I need to take? What steps am I now taking or going to take to get to that physical goal? So for each of those, please write at least 2 actions that you are going to take. My dryer has done that too. I know, right? It's terrible. It is. It's just an illusion. I think so too. I think so. So I've got a good goal in mind. I know exactly, and I can see it, exactly what weight I'm going to be the day I leave for, well, I'm going to Canada first, then on to Punta Cana. So I've got my goal. So has everybody got that down? Yes, beautiful. So that's our physical health. Now let's talk about our mental health. And like mental health and personal development. So for me, for obvious reasons, I have like genuine therapy to do. But how am I going to do that? What does that look like for me? Who am I going to see? Have I found someone that is the right person for me? Before what happened with our family, I already was dealing with PTSD. So that for me is a focus this year, is to really get on top of my PTSD that had been re-triggered back in May. And I was solidly working on that. So what are you going to do for your mental health? It might be that you don't slow down and stop enough. You know, are you grounding? Are you taking your shoes off every day and putting your feet on the earth? And are you stopping and breathing? I'm going to be like completely transparent and honest about the scanner for a second. I was running easy scans well, let's not say every day, because that's probably not true. Almost every day. Well, I was running them every day if it wasn't for me, for my family, my nephew, my mom, whoever. But what I wasn't doing every day was my inner voice, because I could have thought of nothing worse at the time than and I didn't have the time to sit down and actually put my headphones on. If I had prioritized it, probably I could have, but I didn't. And so I got to the point of going, well, what am I going to do? I need to listen to my inner voice. I know this is essential for me. So I said, well, okay, well, how about this? When you're getting up and getting ready every morning, you're making a cup of tea and all of the things. After you run the easy scan, put your headphones on. And even though you're not stopped, put your headphones on and keep doing your things. So I've started to do that. At least it's a step. So then I'm going to work on finding even just 5 minutes to do exactly what I used to do, sit back, put my feet on the ground and listen to my tunes, even if it's just for a really short while. We must be a product of our product and practice what we preach, right? I'm really good at telling people to listen to their inner voice, but sometimes when life gets busy or things get a bit chaotic for us, we don't do it. So making sure you're bringing back really good habits for yourself. Personal development, what does that look like for you? What do you want to bring in to 2024 for your personal development? You know, is it that, you know, someone mentioned before about being motivated. Well, how do you become motivated? Is it that we listen to personal development and we listen to a book, something like Atomic Habits, or read a book? You might prefer to read. I kind of feel like I got a bit turned off reading when I was set a challenge many years ago to read 12 books in a year, 1 book a month. And I think I read 8 or 9, which is huge for me because I'm not a fast reader. And I get very distracted, as we all know. Let's be truthful. Does anyone read a book and get to the end of the page and then go, I actually didn't take in one bit of that? That's usually me. So I'm very good at listening to the book. I'm not so much at reading it. So yeah, it's hard, or it can be. So what is it? 2 goals for your personal development minimum in 2024. Now you can expand on this when we hop off the call tonight, but imagine how much you're going to have achieved by the time we finish here in what action you're going to take for you in 2024. Now, the other goal that I had in 2023 was to live by my intuition. So if my guidance told me no, I didn't do it. If guidance told me yes, then I did it. If my gut feeling said, absolutely not, this doesn't feel right, it didn't happen. And if my gut said, this is good, let's do this, then I did it. Back in April, I had a thought we had a leadership training over in Utah. And not for a second did I think I could go, because I was going in September. Guidance drops in and says, you need to go to this event. I'm like, every reasoning in the world told me why I couldn't go. The affordability of it, I can't leave my family for that long. I don't want to travel by myself all the way to the United States and then from, you know, Los Angeles over to Utah, and, you know, all of these why I couldn't do it. But my guidance said to me, you've got to go. 2023, that was my promise to myself. I am going to honor whatever my guidance says. If it's a no, out. If it's a yes, do it. So I went, and we had the most phenomenal time. And it was so well worth it in so many different ways. I now understand why my guidance was so strongly guiding me to go. So your personal development, has everybody got 2? Yeah, beautiful. Okay, let's talk about social, family, relationships. So what does that look like for you in 2024? For me, it was building boundaries. And many, many years ago, I haven't been like, I don't think I've been like this for a couple of years now. I used to be a really bad people pleaser. Anyone else a people pleaser? I'm sure there's some of you out there. Yeah. Or you used to be, maybe. Or, you know, people who are, yeah, just for me, I 100% was. I would much prefer back in the day to, yeah, in long-term recovery, totally get that. Back in the day, I would much prefer to upset myself and feel crap in myself than to upset somebody else. That's how I used to be. Even if they were completely in the wrong, I just didn't want the confrontation around it. And I very well learned over the last few years that you need to have really solid boundaries to protect your energy, right? So what does that look like for you in 2024? So this is around your friendships. It is around business relationships. It is around your family, your children, your parents, your partners, whatever that looks like. Clear and shield. Yes, indeedy. Always. Absolutely. What does that look like for you in 2024? Who do you need to work more with in a relationship? For me, it's about being more present with my daughter. And I said that in 2023. And it's not that I wasn't, but there's different layers to it, and I feel like I'm getting better at it. Yeah, to really find and engage with your tribe. I love that. That is so important. Do you know, I did this workshop yesterday, and again, I was just guided to do it. And I'm like, do I really feel like getting up at 4 a.m. and driving to the Gold Coast? And I didn't, but I did it. And it was just brilliant. I had so much release and so much support in this workshop that I did. It was just, oh, it was amazing. So what are you going to do in 2024? Find 5 like-minded souls. Yes, absolutely. And if you're looking at, you know, sort of turning this around into from a business perspective, what types of people, what do they look like? Who do you want to bring into your energetic space this year? And really focus on that. So write 2 goals down just for now, but you can really expand on this. This is a big one. So I'm not going to spend a huge amount of time on each of these, but this is a big one. Be really intentional. Do you know, one thing I discovered with in the last 6 weeks of when I've really dropped into the relationship and me setting the goals just of recent, one of the things that it made me realize is just to really love on my mum, you know. She's always had a really good relationship with both of us children, but now that my sister is gone from that physical space, really just loving on her and nurturing her. Like, I'll spend time in the kitchen cooking. Those of you who know me know I love to cook. And so, you know, my love language is gifts. If I can give her something but spend time with her as well and really delve into her love language, also really important. If you don't know the book, The 5 Love Languages, that is an essential book for you to read in 2024. That's like the first one. You can jump online, you can do the quiz to find out your love language, but not more importantly, just as importantly, the love language of your loved ones. What is their love language? Yeah, it does. It feels nice to connect more deeply, you know, and sometimes that's what's shown to us to do when these situations come. It's like, what's the universe wanting me to do next? And you can ask the question. Okay, so we all good with that one? We've all got a minimum of 2, at least 2 people you're going to, or 2 goals that you've set for yourself there. The next one is spiritual contribution. Now, this can mean different things to different people. It might be that you are religious and that maybe you've stepped back from your connection with God. Maybe you used to go to church, but you don't anymore. So maybe that's something that you could set for yourself to do. Maybe it's about connecting deep within to, you know, your like meditating each day and really connecting into your spiritual side. And for those who may not necessarily trust their gut instinct, spending more time with self. So what is your spiritual contribution going to be in 2024? What does that look like? So take just a couple of moments now just to write 2 of those down. More time in nature, yes, and time by yourself. Do you know, it's really interesting that you say that, Bryony, because I was only talking to my cousin yesterday, and I said to her, do you know one thing? She said, I don't know how your sister always made so much time for people. And I said, it's because she hated spending time by herself. If she was at home, she would be on the phone all the time because she didn't like having that time on her own. Whereas it's something that we need to sit with on a daily basis and actually really enjoy the time that we have on our own with ourselves. You know, it could be that you might want to do some inner child work. You know, it might be an inner child meditation or something, or you could have someone facilitate that for you, whatever that looks like. But definitely spending some time on your own is beautiful. And particularly if you can do it in nature, that's even better. Get those negative ions in you. You know, I know DJ, she wasn't able to hop on the call tonight, but she'll watch the recording, I know, but she goes for a walk along the beach every morning because she lives near the beach. You know, I know Paige goes for a walk, you know, every morning with her bare feet. I love that. You know, just ground yourself. It's not always about having to exercise necessarily. And that's what I'm learning, is that allowing, if I don't feel like going to the gym, but I want to get moving and I want to have my feet on the ground, then I'm going to allow myself to do that. So spiritual contribution. The next one is personal finances. Let's look at your personal finances and let's see where that's at. You know, what do you want for you this year? It might be that you've got a credit card that you want to pay off. It might be that could be a gazillion things, but you'll know what your personal finances are. What do you want to achieve for you? So just start with 2 things. It might be that you want to save. So I'll give you one of mine, which anyway, it's a bit of a funny story, but I have plenty of excuses as to why it hasn't happened yet. It's my other addiction that I'm trying to shift. So my other addiction is coffee. And I gave up alcohol like almost 12 months ago. So I don't drink anymore. I'm super fine with that. But I drink coffee. And I don't drink a lot of it. I only drink 1, maximum 2 a day. But I always go to the coffee shop to buy that. Now, the type of coffee I drink, it's like 7. I know you saw my machine. Isn't it beautiful? But you know what? I haven't mastered it yet, Joe. So you'll laugh at this. So I haven't got the milk, the actual milk that I use. I've got to go to one of my wholesaler friends and go and buy, because they supply all the cafes and stuff, right? But so I've gone and bought the best milk that I can kind of get, you know, locally. And I made my coffee, but it's still not quite right. So I'll drink it in the morning, and then I'll still go out and buy my coffee. The whole point of buying the coffee machine was to save about roughly $10 a day, let's call it. Let's average it out at $10 a day. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. But that's like nearly $3,500 a year. That is a lot of money. I did this in 2019. I did exactly this, except I didn't have a coffee machine. And my rule was this: you can buy 1 coffee a week. You can drink coffee. You can drink as much as you want if someone shouts you the coffee, but you can't buy it. You can only buy 1 a week. And I literally saved nearly $3,500. That was the year that I took my family to Canada for Christmas, or white Christmas. And that was a lot of our spending money. Like, that's a lot of money. So what could you shift out of your life that you don't need? Or it could be nothing that you're going to shift out, but it could be that you could probably save an extra $50 or $70 a week. What would that look like for you and your family at the end of the year for a holiday? So I'm yet to master it, but I'm working on it. That's my goal for one of my personal financial goals. So let's look at your business goal. It might be Solex, it might not be. It might be you may have a separate business to Solex that's your focus. But if Solex is your business goal, you have business goals for it in 2024, let's look at that and speak into that for a moment. First and foremost, where do you want to be? Now, that could be a dollar value per month. It could be a rank. It could be a certain amount of team members, whatever that looks like for you. Now, you might not know, if you're new, you may not 100% know and understand the compensation plan, and that's okay. I encourage you to reach out to the person that you work with or myself. And if there's one thing I know in business is how to get the best out of a compensation plan. You must know the numbers and you must know the figures and you must know how to get there, right? So if my goal is, if I'm a pearl at the moment, which I am, and my goal is to get to sapphire, then what do I need to get to sapphire? I need 2 pearls. So I will work solidly with the people who are wanting to work and to work with me to get to their goal of pearl. And that will, by me helping them to get to their goals, will get me to my goal anyway. My goal doesn't have to be the focus necessarily, but I do have to set the intention. Yeah. Am I going to set my goal to be diamond this year? No, because I don't feel that that's achievable for me with the year that I have coming ahead. Do I think sapphire is achievable? Absolutely. My other goal in our business is for our team to be the #1 team in Solex, full stop. We are so close to being that anyway, but that is my goal. I want that when people look at joining a team, they go, I want to join that team, because they have the systems, they have everything in place, and they can offer me every single thing I need to bring my success. Yeah. I think that's really cool. So set yourself 2 goals. If you feel comfortable to share in the chat, please do. If not, that's 100% fine as well. Don't feel like you have to. But, you know, for some of you, you might go, oh, you know, you might be sitting at, let's say, gold or silver. There is absolutely no reason you couldn't achieve platinum or pearl this year. 100%. You could 100% achieve that this year, particularly with what our team has coming. And as many of you know, yes, platinum for Utah in September. That is amazing. I love that. Yes. And I will be there bawling my eyes out as you walk up on stage as they announce you as platinum in September. Ali, I love it. That is so cool. And really, you know, really visualize that stuff too. But really break down the action spots of what do you need to do to make that happen, yeah? Because that's really what's going to get you to your goal. So has everybody got 2 goals? Whatever that looks like for them. It might be working with specific people. And listen, reach out. Like if you're serious about really running your business in 2024, reach out and say, hey, I need help. You do not have to do this on your own. Our Monday night calls used to be specifically for business builders. We have now changed that for 2024. Our calls on Monday nights are going to be specifically for Q&A. Anyone can come along. Everyone can come along and learn, ask questions. It's going to be an open table to, you know, let us help you. That could be business, but it could just be to do with the scanner. Doesn't matter what it is. And I think that's a really good plan for us for 2024. We've got a lot of other things in store, but I just thought I'd mention that. Now, you may have a business or, you know, Solex may be your, you know, you might sort of do that part-time, whatever the case may be. Or what about if you have a full-time job? Like up until not October just gone, the one before, I worked full-time. I was a state manager for Queensland, New South Wales for a company. And I was able to get myself out of that job, as amazing as it was, to be able to focus on my business full time. And that was my other business as well as my Solex business and I homeschool my daughter. So if you have a career or a job, do you have goals for that? What are they? Jot them down. It could be that you might want a promotion. Might be that you want to move into something else. Could be that you want to study. You know, what do you want to study if that's the case? There's been years where I'm like, okay, I'm going to study this year. And I became a qualified holistic counselor. I've had many different qualifications over the time. This year, do I want to study? Nope. There's not one part of me that wants to study. I will do the courses in the Solex University. I'm still yet to finish the Jennifer Nelson Hawkes one, which is all about how to read the scans. I bought that at Day of Discovery just in September. So I definitely need to do that one. That's one of my goals, which I forgot to write down. So I just remembered that then. But like training courses, might be that you want to get to level 3 in Solex University, whatever it is, just jot it down. Here's my favorite one, travel. You might not like traveling. So if you don't like traveling, make it something else. You might like camping. You might want to go and explore different parts of Australia or New Zealand. What does that look like for you? Traveling for me, I set the intention in 2023 to travel a lot, and I did. And I'm traveling more in 2024, a lot more than I did in 2023. I'm traveling almost every month. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'll let you know at the end of the year. It's good. It's a good thing in my head because I love to get away, but I love to come home. So we'll see. But if travel is something that you love and you're wanting to build your Solex business, then commit yourself to coming to our retreat. It is going to be amazing. It seriously will be. And if you're concerned about the cost of it, imagine taking 5 days to focus on your Solex business and yourself, to remove money blocks, to remove subconscious beliefs that you may have, to really spend that time honing in on you and your business. What is that going to do financially for your business to bring you if you were to make that time and to make that commitment? One, I think that if that's a scary goal for you, then there's a subconscious belief there that if you get to that Bali retreat, that subconscious belief will be gone because you'll have broken it. So if you sit there and go, I can't afford that, there's absolutely no way that between now and May, I could possibly come up with that sort of money. I don't even know what sort of money it is yet, but it's going to be quite reasonable, even from Brisbane. Those of you in Perth, you got no excuse. You could walk there. There's probably a bridge. Ali and Ange and, Katie Jane and all those girls, Kerry, they'll be walking across I'm sure there's a bridge from Perth to Bali, something like that. It's about $1.50 return. It's cheap, we know. So this is why we're putting this on, because the girls over on the West Coast, they do miss out a fair bit compared to over here, right? Like we can have an event here, and those who are able to make it to Day of Discovery on the Gold Coast, that was so amazing for you to be here. Where in Bali? That is such a good question. I don't know the suburb, but we will have it out really soon, I promise you. I will let you know. I did ask the question. My main question was, is it like super easy from the airport to where it is? And the answer was yes, so that's good. But it's the middle of May. I don't have the exact dates in my brain, but I do have them written down. I feel like it's around the 17th to the 24th of May. That's what's in my head. So maybe that's something that you go, oh man, I would love to go to that, but gosh, I've never been to Bali. I can't even imagine that. I just don't know that I'd be able to do it. Set that goal. You might have a canoe ride from New Zealand. You have to go the long way around. I love that. Entertainment. Now that we get to the fun stuff, I love this stuff. Entertainment and things to do. What have you wanted to do that you've maybe that you have done before and you really enjoyed and you want to go and do it again? Or what is something, it doesn't even have to be anything major. Let me give you an example. My girlfriends have been all of my girlfriends have been incredibly amazing and supportive. And for that, some of you are on this call, and for that, I'm so, so grateful. The ones who are local to me that are physically here that can go and do stuff with me, they must see it before I do, because they must see my brain like sinking, my head's like underwater, and they're like, you know, one of them messaged me the other day and she's like, what are you doing on, I don't even know what day it was, whatever day it was. I feel like it was like Thursday or Tuesday, or I don't know. And I said, oh, I don't know why. And she goes, in the afternoon, what about the movies and the arcade? And I said, are you talking about without children? And she goes, yes. And I'm like, let's do it. So we got two of our other girlfriends as well. We started this is at 3 or 4 in the afternoon. We started at Starbucks. Then we went to the movies, which we went and saw Anyone But You. Has anybody seen that movie? You have to go and see that movie. It is hilarious. I mean, hilarious. So Starbucks, then we went to the movies. Then we went to the arcade. My girlfriend and I love the arcade. The other two waited outside. We went to the arcade. And, pardon me. Then we went for dinner. And then we went to Centuro. I got home. I did not go to bed late. I have been going to bed later since this last however long. But I do not generally go to bed late. I'm in bed by like 9:30, 10 o'clock. I'm maxed out asleep. I got home at midnight. I felt like the biggest kid, and we had the most fun. I know years ago, a girlfriend of mine and I, just the two of us, went to a local theme park, a water slide theme park, and spent the whole day, just the two of us. I even bought us both a little bag of candy on the way out, because that's what we used to do as kids, is, you know, take a little bag of candy on the way home. And so I even bought her and I that, and I still talk about that to this day, and that was years ago now. So what do you want to do? So I saw Janice wrote dancing. I love that. Go to more theatre shows. Yes. Oh, and a beautiful birthday party. Yes, I love that. Joe wants to go jet skiing. Well, Joe, one of my goals is that I want to jet ski. So we might be able to combine our goals here, girlfriend. I want the jet ski and I want to take you jet skiing. How about that? Oh, you want the jet ski too? Oh, we could go jet skiing together. That would be fun. We could go get our license together. How about that? We can set that as the goal. But how cool is this to be able to write down the goals that you want to have fun with? Kayak. Oh my gosh, yes. Do you know up in Noosa? Yeah, beautiful. Come jet ski in Noosa. Yes. Do you know what I love in Noosa is what do they call it? The fairy pools. Anyone from sort of Brizzy or even the Gold Coast, or of course Sunny Coast, have you ever gone and seen the fairy pools in the Noosa National Park? If you have not done that, even Google it. Google them. It's kind of like it's not a tourist attraction as such, because most people don't even know about it. But honestly, that is so cool. And for those of you on the West Coast, like, get over to Rottnest Island. That place is the prettiest place on the planet. Holy moly. Those West Coasters, they don't tell us, but their water is like the water of the Caribbean. It's amazing. So it might be that you want to go on a little vacay down to Bustleton. That's where you went. Hey, Ali, Bustleton? Is that where the big long jetty is? Bustleton is so beautiful. I love it there. Yes. Bustleton is magic. So all sorts of places. So what do you want to do? And it could be that, you know, it might be learning something different. It might be a hobby. Like, what are your hobbies for 2024? It's so important for you to have an interest. Like for me, 3 years ago, I think, I started karate. Now, unfortunately, I can't do karate anymore due to the vehicle accident that I had, but I loved it. And we still go every Wednesday because the rest of my family do it. But while they're there, I'll either watch them or I'll go for a walk on the beach, or if it's summer, I'll go for a swim. More sound healing, more golf. Yes, you should get back to that because you're an amazing golfer. Me, on the other hand, not so much. Your hobby will be the jet ski. Yes, it will. A snow trip. Yes. Oh my gosh. Trip to Greece and Cyprus. Isn't this just amazing? I love this. A paddleboard. Yeah. Do you know that's one thing I've never done is that like stand-up paddleboarding? That's something I've never done that I would love to do. And actually, I think my best friend owns a paddleboard from memory. I should ask her and get her to take me. So things like that. So entertainment and things to do. Does everybody have at least 2 things? I would love everyone to write their 2 things. I love to see the Housewives of Salt Lake City. I want to get back there to go to Park City again. Oh my gosh. Hang on, who said that? Who is that? You're my person. Who said that? Hang on, I've got to go back. It's Edge. Did you say that?
Me.
Oh my gosh. Seriously?
Justin Rose and his wife were on it.
Yeah, but do you actually watch it?
Yeah, I watched it all the way to the end.
So it's the reunions on this week.
Yeah.
So funny. So Ange and I know, well, and probably Ali and a few of the others actually know one of the guys on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So we kind of just watch it to kind of see what's going on, don't we? It's quite funny. Yeah. So so there's so many things like that. But Salt Lake City is I mean, Utah in general is just beautiful. I love it. As a city, I just think it's absolutely amazing. So, but isn't it incredible to expand your thoughts about what you want for your year? The last thing that I do, well, it's actually the first thing I do, but it's the last thing I'm going to mention, is to life audit. So look at your previous year. What worked for you? What did you love about it? What did you not love about it? What do you want to do less of this year that you didn't like in last year? What do you want to do more of this year that, you loved last year? So look at that as well and bring that into 2024. So has this been helpful? Does this give you more beautiful of a guideline to what you want to bring into your space in 2024? And look, it could be that for you to start, let's say, if you've got some really serious business goals, one of your goals might be, and the only reason I say it is because I look around and I did it the other day, was to seriously tidy my office. My office after Day of Discovery Gold Coast was so messy. So it could be to tidy up and to declutter. Let me tell you, if there's one thing I can share with you about having to clean out someone's house that has lived there for like over 15 years, you want to declutter your stuff. We have too much stuff, and stuff doesn't make you happy. If your goal in life is to be happy, which I truly believe it should be, joy and happiness and love and all of the amazing things is what you want to bring into your life. Stuff doesn't make anybody happy. It just doesn't. And my sister loved stuff. And what's the point of all of that now? I look at some of the stuff and I think, gosh, if you hadn't bought all of that, you could have gone on a holiday to wherever and had such an incredible time and created memories. So if there's one thing that you can take away from my previous experience of late is please declutter your house and all your cupboards and your drawers and get rid of all the stuff that you don't need and that doesn't serve you. And, make sure that you do the things that you've always wanted to do. My sister was going to go on so many holidays this year and she doesn't get to do that. So if you look at Bali and go, gosh, I'd really love to go to Bali, but, do it. Do what you want to do. Go when you want to go. Be with the people you want to be with. Drink out of the crystal glasses. Don't keep that expensive dinner set for a special occasion. Every single day you wake up is a special occasion. Be kind and generous and loving to every single person you come across. You know, I walked into a store to pick up my coffee machine actually, and I was just, there haven't really been good days for us lately, but there's been really, really horrendous days. And then there's been days where you're just coping, yeah. And I walk into the store one day and it's a day that I'm just not okay. But I'm like, I really want my coffee machine. So I walk into the store and I go to the counter and I'm at the wrong counter. So I got to go to a different counter. And this guy comes out and he goes, how can I help you? I said, hello. I'm just here to pick up my coffee machine. I ordered it online and I think this is the right place that I need to grab it from. And I was like super nice. I wasn't, rude, or had no reason to be rude. And he turns around and he goes, do you mean please? With his attitude. And I was like, it really actually took me back because I was really polite, but he was right. Like I didn't actually say please at the end. And I was like, oh, and my brain is like, I still don't know where it is. It's somewhere. I'm sure it'll come back at some point. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, of course. Yeah, please. Like I'm sorry. Like, and then I felt like, do I need to explain myself? So just remember that there's always things going on for people that you don't know about. And so always just treat them with love and kindness. I went through the drive-through of the coffee store the other day and the person in front of me had paid for my coffee. Now that hasn't happened to me in the longest time. I think it's only ever happened to me once before, but I do that for people all the time. And that day, can I tell you, I said to the guy behind the counter, you have no idea how much that actually means to me today. That is just so beautiful. And to that person, it was probably just a cup of coffee, but it was not just a cup of coffee for me. It meant so much more than that. So I love to pay it forward. So maybe that's something that you can take into 2024 as well. So we will finish it there. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. If you are in our Frequency Soul Collective chat, in the chat group, I would love you to jump into that chat group tonight and just hop in there. One of the big takeaways that you took from the call this evening, and one of the things that you're going to implement in 2024, whether that be personal or business, it doesn't matter. We're here to love on everyone, no matter what you want in your Solex journey. So thank you everyone for joining me. Thank you for being patient with me as well. I'm very, very grateful. And I'm certainly grateful for all of the love and support that I have with our beautiful community. I feel very grateful for that. So much love, everyone. Enjoy your week and we will see you soon. See you next Monday night. Good night.